plant layout and maintenance. For this session, we have with us Dr. Anjanelu Changadi, Director of Food Safety India Private Limited, Hyderabad. I would quickly introduce Sir to you. He holds a PhD degree in food microbiology. He has more than 15 years of experience in different capacities, including top management of the organization and managerial level within MNC companies. He has completed more than 270 audits in food industry as a lead auditor. He is a regulatory head and food safety expert. He is approved trainer by FSI, Government of India. He is a member of AFSTI Hyderabad, and onboard master trainer and national level resource person for fortification, as well as onboard trainer for the FSI program called BHOG, Government of India. He has developed more than 13 new products and has have an expertise in increasing the shelf life and packaging technology. I welcome you, sir, in this, and thank you for accepting our invitation. The session is over to you, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for your kind introduction. So, participants, I would like to give you a brief introduction about the topic what I'm going to discuss. This topic is about plant maintenance and layouts. It might be you will be just having a lot of experience into different industries. I think this program is for bakery, grain, as well as all different kind of food processing requirements. Please understand, for any kind of a processing requirement, it is very essential that we should have a proper layout of the plant. If we don't have a proper layout of the plant, it will be very difficult for us to maintain the hygiene as well as sanitary conditions in the production level. So you all know, so if you don't have a proper hygiene, then what and all happens? There are a lot of things you can able to face, legal compliances as well as product quality and degradation, customer complaints, loss of business. There are a lot of things can happen actually. In order to minimize all those requirements, establishing a factory, and it is very important. If you have a factory, just seeing amazing by seeing the factory is like what structure they have maintained in a very good condition, so then we will feel like it is good. Okay, it is, they have a ideological requirement that how to build a factory and where to keep all those requirements. So next time if you are suggesting any of these requirements and all, maintain those following basic requirements of conditions which I'm going to teach you. This will be helping you. It's not only in any sector, it is all over the food industry sectors. So infrastructure and maintenance is very very important actually. Okay, so that is what we can able to suggest you to go into this. Okay, let me share my presentation. Hope you can able to see my presentation.
Yes, sir. Can you put in a slideshow mode, sir?
Yes, I will be putting it now. Now it is clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so one moment. Yeah. So so this is what I'm just going to discuss about how to design a proper plant. It is about designing. So all of you don't consider so I'm not a CAD drawer, or no, I'm not an engineer to design all this plan. But it is very essential that you should give a lot of input to the designer, whoever going to construct, either that masonry or whoever going to paste that cement and blocks everything. So you are need to understand, so I have to give a lot of inputs, because it is very essential that if you are not giving a proper inputs to the designer, they will construct the building, and later on when you go for an audit or an inspection, any government official are coming, they will be asking, sir, where is the hand wash facility? Sir, hand wash, we don't know, sir. We, our people go outside and do hand washing. So if they go do on outside and hand washing, and they will be coming here, where is the garbage provision? Where are the drainages has been designed into this? like that will be giving a lot of problems. So where are the electrical points to be come out, and where are the machines to be placed, and is this specific machine provision is required or not? See, if you have a closed godown, and you should able to consider, if you want to establish some machines which are giving a lot of noise, you should proper ventilations requirements where the machine is giving a lot of heat, proper ventilation to that. So if you are not considering all of that, you plant establishment is typically done, but it is a failure. From your point of view, it is okay, but the manufacturing point of view, it is a failure project. So like that, it will be problem. So understand these requirements. So we will be talking about plant location, where and all the considerable aspects where you can able to put a plant location, and location factors, how you select whether you want to establish in a good factory in Tanjavur outskirts or in a Vallam center, or you wanted to go into a good area like in Hyderabad you want to consider, and Telangana, whatever the location, how these location factors are considerable. Okay, and what are the activities you have to in the area? Say example, you have selected a city, Chennai, you have selected, or you have selected in Tanjavur, and what are the site specification? How you select a site? What are the facilities that is required? Then finally, a layout. A layout means it's a graphical area representation, how you will be giving the first step and second step and third step, where and all has to come. All these are required. And I'll show you a problematic solution, how the problems comes in the future if you don't follow a proper layout. Classical and practical layouts, I will show you how you can able to assess by understanding this. And the preparation of flats. Okay, that and all I'll tell you. And production layout and process layout. Production layout is different and process layout is different. And if you go to the maintenance of machines and all, repairs and maintenance, and what and all called as preventive maintenance, and what is called breakdown maintenance, and when to replace all these machinery requirements and all, you should be able to understand. Okay, so these and all the topics what we are going to cover. So if you have any doubts, please drop into the text messages or in the chat box. So once the session is over, I'll try to explain you. So you can able to utilize my expertise in 1 2 hours of time. So you can able to ask any kind of generalized questions in related to these building maintenance, or how this is going to affect the food safety aspects, or so what and all the basic aspects, how we can able to control the minimizing the risk factors and all, you can able to ask. Okay, right, let us go. So this is a legal requirement that we should able to understand, because you don't consider like, sir, it is only a building, I will be constructing a building where and all I wanted to have my product. My product is a like food processing industry, so I will be putting my establishment in out of the out of the city skirts. So the small shed, sir, I'll be keeping it. So I don't have much space, only 100 to 200 square yards only I've got. 100 to 200 square yards means somewhere around we will be getting um, 2000 square feet area. Materials, keeping production, dispatch, everything. So I'm not having much of money because the loan is not granted. So I'll be just putting a normal flooring. I'm not going into any kind of other floorings. So these and all okay or not? No, it is not. Whenever you are doing any kind of a business activity in India, you should consider FSSAI into consideration. Okay, this FSSAI has very clearly mentioned certain requirements of food industries. Those are called Schedule 4 guidelines. These Schedule 4 guidelines are very important to understand. These guidelines are very common for all kind of food manufacturing industries or processing industries, or including the service industry also. If you go to hotel and restaurant also, their infrastructure requirements also should match to the requirements of FSSAI. Otherwise, we don't know like what is the problem, because these guidelines are very intensified kind of documents where we can able to understand how food safety affecting the product quality also. So all these guidelines has been given by government with a lot of scientific and a lot of analytical research thing has happened before framing these guidelines. So we should respect these guidelines. Okay, you should remember, make a notes if you at all you wanted to make notes. This is very important. Require consider part 2 of schedule 4 of Food Safety Standards Licensing and Registration of Food Business Act. It specifically talks about how infrastructure requirements shall be in consideration. Okay, so if anybody wanted to see that what are the checklist points means, I'll show you that also. Checklist. Okay, so manufacturing checklist, if you generally see anybody is there than manufacturing requirements. So everybody I think into manufacturing only. So say example, I will show you. Hmm, let me, okay. In order to audit their premises, audit their requirements and all. So if you see the details of thing, and here very clearly they were written design and facilities. All these specifically talks about the design and facilities. The premises is located in a hygienic environment. The design of food premises provides adequate working space, permit the maintenance, cleaning, and to prevent the entry of dirt, dust, and pest. All these also you have to consider in the designing aspect. Internal structures and fittings are made of non-toxic and impermeable materials, mean non-absorbent materials. You can't suggest them to go with like wood grade anything which is goes like wood materials or any other materials. So then you can't able to do that. So but you should able to understand what and all can be used and cannot be used. Okay, and see this requirements: walls, ceilings, and doors are free from flaking paints or plasters or condensation shedding of particles like anything mold growth, any other requirements, anything or this thing. See the floor activity also they are specifically talking. Floors are non-absorbent and non-slippery and sloped appropriately. So flooring is also very important, and you should able to consider the windows and fitting of insect proof screens with opening and external environment, and doors are smooth of entry when you are just making a proper layout or considerably. So these requirements, if you don't consider these, then it will be a problem. We can't understand what is generally happens. And they are asking potable water also, means when you are selecting the area. So these and all the aspects, potable water requirement also, that water availability should be in proper level. If you don't have any water, then what is the point of keeping? For a dairy industry, if at all you are keeping, for a bakery industry you are keeping, fruit pulp processing industry, anything you are keeping, water is essential. Without water, no way of doing any processing. Who and all do the cleaning activities, all these things. So water should be available good in condition in that area. Equipments and containers are made of non-toxic, impervious, non-corrosive material which is easy to clean and easy to disinfect. Adequate facilities for heating, cooling, refrigeration, freezing, or facilities monitoring of temperature. The premises has sufficient light fixtures to prevent contamination breakage. Adequate ventilation is there or not. So storage facilities, packing material facilities, chemical storage, personal item storage available or not. Personal hygiene facilities like number of hand washing facilities, toilets, changing rooms, all being us. So these and all the aspects you should able to understand whether you are going in a right way of designing, you are constructing the plant or not. So these and all also available in a very clear indicative requirements. I'll show you that guidelines also. If at all you wanted to refer more into dig into deep, so I can able to give you references if you go to FSS's website where you can able to get all these requirements. Okay. Okay, so it is not there. Okay, I got this. So can you able to hear? Can you able to write? You can able to see. So then see this. This is the FSSAI guidelines document. For that, in this, what I'm going to show you is this requirement. Sanitary and hygienic requirements. This is for street vendors. Sorry. So this is part two. General requirements and hygiene and sanitary practices to be followed by all food business operators. All food business operators. So when you are going for licensing and requirements and hygiene requirements, this is compulsory. So here what the requirements is, they have detailed locations, layout of design of food establishment. Okay, so all the points and all very clearly they have mentioned how you should select the equipments and containers, all this and all very clearly they have mentioned, and they are asking for CIP also, clean in place, so equipments and all, so all these facilities when you are designing these water supplies there are not, or floor cleaning utensils are not, washing of raw material facilities there are not, ice and steam if you are using ice or steam for production, drainage, how you are designing drainage, personal facilities for toilets, how many, air quality and ventilation, lighting. These are all very important when you are designing such kind of a requirement. Okay, so if you don't consider these requirements and you are wishing to go ahead and do all of your requirement of choice, then we will be falling into a lot of trouble. Okay, so that's what you have to understand. What are the legal aspects in my aspects? So when I'm doing this design, so any legalities is there? So these are legalities I have to adhere. So legalities you adhere. Then implement the best followed system in the industry or the region. So which are practically easing your business. So that is what. Okay. So we should very clearly understand whenever designing this thing, there are regulatory requirements. FSSAI is given some requirements in specifically part 2 of schedule 4 requirement is very much implementable in all of the food aspects. Okay, so these requirements very clearly says the establishment in which food being handled, processed, manufactured, packed, stored, or distributed by food business operator and the person handling them should conform the sanitary and hygiene requirements of food safety measures and other standards specified in Schedule 4 requirement. This is compliances. Okay, so that you have to compulsorily follow. Okay, so we were very understanding that these are requirements. In specific requirements of Schedule 4, I have shown you the PPT, PDF. In that part 2, where and all the activities, locations they are following, and designs they are following, surroundings they are following, all these aspects they are following. Okay, so good manufacturing practices also you're just taking into consideration. So these are the location surroundings, how we can able to select a location surroundings, just ideally the area how you can able to consider. Do not consider like this images is very good, so don't, all you people are handling a very very small scale level handling premise. This is only for image I have just kept because I didn't get any image of much reliable. So I'll change it next time. So these are the things. Location shall be ideally away from all these activities. Like, when you are considering pollution, how our motive of building or creating a layout is how less contaminants can be controlled without entering into our premises. We should understand what are the best ways to control food contamination. External factors, like, if you are having environmentally polluted areas, so the lot of pollution can come into your premises because a lot of pollution is already outside there. Person goes outside, come inside, yes. So then if you don't want this, then it will be a problem. So industrial activities, anything. So example, this is our building, and the next building is chemical industry. Chemical industry means which they will be handling a lot of chemical wastages. So do you think like this is just beside is also not a problem because we have a very closed infrastructure? No, you can't, because there are a lot of smell coming out. Actually, a lot of wastage goes inside the premises, means inside the drain lines or inside the and all. So all these chemicals go into earth levels, and when you have a bore from the other level, means like half an hour next area, you are just digging a bore for water, you will be getting all this chemical water only. So no, nothing else. If you are keeping your premises near to hospitals or any kind of chemical waste areas, industrial activity areas, a lot of contamination can happen from earth level. So they might be using toilet waters to sink all this thing. Residential areas also it is restricted, because all residential people sewage, wastage, human wastage, all this goes into earth pits. So you dig a bore, then you get only that wastage conditional requirements. So you should be very careful about that. So all these activities like pest infestations, wastage is possible to remove it or not. All these things you should able to consider. Okay. See, some examples I have given very clearly, so that you can able to understand. So see this image. There are a lot of drainage near passing nearby actually, and there is a lot of garbages, open level. Food has been kept outside and all. Then some area like see there is nothing can be controlled. Everything on the floor. So facilities, there is no proper facilities like that. See this area, open drainages. Okay, urinals without drainages. People are urinating or no open urination or this thing, these activities. So these kind of activities, if we are nearby areas, then it is a problem that we can get a lot of contamination. One more few more slides to give you an example. These kind of area wastage and all you are keeping on floor, rats are coming and dogs are coming, cats are coming, everything coming for food. And if they don't get food, if it get clean, if they don't get food here, then automatically walks into your premises inside. So that's what drainages or open garbage areas and all these and all you have to consider, like when you are just selecting some areas and all. So all these requirements, so we have understood. Now it is our requirement that we should able to give a proper layout design. So give a layout design means what and all the activities you have to consider in this layout design means. See, my simple motto is give you a classic examples how you can able to understand a food industry, why it is so important. So simple, cross contamination to avoid. So all this process should be able to give one simple agenda is my product should not get cross contaminated. Okay. So you might be understanding like what is cross contamination. Every time we any auditor also uses this word called cross contamination. You people also goes and tell technical level persons, you also go do cross contamination. Do not do this. So what is actually cross contamination? Anybody wanted to answer? Anybody wanted to answer? You can open your mic and can speak, or else if you want to put it in chat box also you can able to put. Anybody? What is cross contamination? So no one? Is my voice is audible or not? See, when you don't have interaction, so my theory goes like English movie. Subtitles, no subtitles, only voice is coming, screen is coming, you people are doing your activity. So it won't be good like that. You're giving chicken and vegetable processing is called no. Cross contamination, you're giving examples actually. Vijay has like, submitted his thing. So he is quoting an example for chicken with vegetable processing in the same premises together is called cross contamination. Yes, it is called cross contamination. Uh, then no. So that is something. So cross contamination when yes. So Dr. Neha, yes, she has given some a positive way. Transfer of microorganisms from one object to another object. Yes. cross contamination is with two different product, not with contact. No, raw and cooked food. These are all examples actually. So Dr. Neha has only given some process observations like what happens in cross contamination. What is cross contamination? So we might have a different examples, veg and non-veg, cooked and non-cooked, and plastic, and even water bottles. If you're keeping water, also plastic can migrate into food. That is also called cross contamination. Chemicals coming into food, cross contamination. So Neha, I would like to give appreciation for this. So, but you should able to understand. It is not only about the cross contamination. It's not about only microorganisms. So, Earth is having lot of things. Contaminants means which are harmful, which are dangerous. So these contaminants might be, you might be heard about hazards, physical hazards, chemical hazards, microbial hazards, some other allergens also. So if you are just pushing all these hazards into process, then it is called cross contamination. So might be food to food cross contamination, equipments to food cross contamination, chemicals to food, or person to food also get cross contamination. Not only microorganisms, there are other elements also, other contaminants also, chemical contaminants, physical contaminants. Some nut bolts are falling into your food product. That is also cross contamination. It is not about only microorganisms, it is all the process. But I would love to appreciate, this is good answer actually. Okay. Yes. So Varsha is saying when microbes are unintentionally transferred, cross contamination happens, intentional, unintentional also. It might be we can't able to say anything. So allergen contamination, yes, true. Okay. So let me go back. So this activity, if you can able to consider cross contamination, we should not enter any hazards into the process outside other than internal. Okay, and it is better compartmentalization or anything. One direction material movement is what we suggested as a practical exposure. Unidirectional process flow. Your layout should be in unidirectional process flow. One direction it has to move. All the process and process layouts and all, everything has to move in one direction. And this, remember this activity, machinery manufacturing area or your machines or equipments or any kind of tools what you are buying, all this area only should cover 50% of your area. If it is crossing more than 50%, then the material movement, somebody coming with raw material, they don't have any space to keep, or they don't have any walking space, or they don't have any kind of other areas to work or stand, walk, run between. So then it is very difficult actually. So when you are buying machines, so you should able to understand when you are giving layout. First question you will get, what you will get, no? If you go to a farmer, if you go to a small entrepreneur, you will get one query. Madam, how much area is required for my process? So this is the first question you will be getting. So how much area means, you will be saying, sir, 2000 square feet is okay, sir. You generally say like that. Never. How much area is depends upon the how much of quantity he wanted to produce, how much of storage space he wanted to have, because he wanted to produce more number of items or number of products, number of processing lines. All these and all differentiates the how much of area requirement. That you have to ask, sir, how much we wanted to manufacture. So you want to manufacture 1 ton a day, 2 tons a day, 3 tons a day, or 5 tons a day. That's it. Okay. So that is one aspect. And how much you want to store? Raw material is not having any availability season wise. So if I wanted to start a pickling industry, mango pickle I wanted to manufacture. So you do you get mangoes all over the season or any specific season? You can't get all over the season, no. So we will be getting only specific summer season. This summer season only you have to bring all the mangoes and just keep it here and process it. That time you can't have any facility to store your raw material. Then it is a problem. So area is all depends upon how the sourcing, how the procurement, all these aspects. Do not commit yourself, sir. Sir, इतना ही बस हो जाएगा. So that's 15 square feet or this much. No, you should not say like that, this much of area. After speaking, after taking complete opinion, how is the business model, how much is the requirement, what kind of packaging you wanted to go, so any other production lines you wanted to increase in future, Is the only product this is the any other pickles you want to also bring? So I want to do all the pickles every day. Mango 500 kgs, tomato 500 kgs, or I would like to go 500 kgs of other ginger garlic paste also. You have to ask all these questions, then only you can go with the answers. Okay, so in this layout and design, we will be just putting into walls, floors, and ceiling, and windows and doors as discussed. These are so simple. The designing of premises should be in a very free way, that simple requirement, the no cross contamination, one direct movement. One direction means no backward flow, unidirectional process flow, what we call it as, or one direction, the material has to move in one direction, no backflow. And floors and ceiling simple, no absorption of water or moisture. Simple requirement. It should not absorb any water, or it should be maintained in a very good condition. If it is something chemical flaking of paints is coming, then it is not a good premises. And if it is not smooth, it is rough in surface. Rough means this example. So if it is rough in surface, then it can absorb lot of moisture, or it can be a small pathway for your pest and insects. If it is like this smooth, so no insects going to crawl on the surface. If it is not smooth, rough, any lizards, any cockroaches go happily and crawl and stay. So that is what you have to consider. All your things should be clean, durable, and easy to maintain. Easy to maintain means easy for washing, easy for repairs, all these things. Okay, see this is okay. These kind of a dust, so if it is taking moisture, absorption of moisture, it is happening, this much of contamination you can able to get. These are fungal thing. This is a bakery line. If you consider bakery is having high moisture products, lot of moisture happens actually in bakery industry. So all this is a problem. So that is what you have to understand. So whenever you are doing consideration, so all these things you have to consider. Okay, ceiling is good, you have to consider nothing should fall from the height level. So doors, drains, yes, doors is simple, automatic closed door. So because whenever you are in a hurry, if you just open this door and just automatically goes inside the premises, then it should be able to automatically consider, it should automatically get closed actually. If you are not closing, then someone has to close, otherwise insects will come. Okay, so all these problems happens actually. Then floor, yes, I have shown you a floor, I'll show you a floor also, how I'm expecting a floor should be. And that is a very good condition, not like our choice of requirement. Drains, yes, we will see this image. Automatic door closures I have just given, no gaps in between, and no gaps here also. On the floor also you should not have any kind of gaps. If you are bringing a big shutter, and the beneath of shutter there is a lot of space, that a big snakes also can come inside. So that much of gaps you are leaving, so that you have to tell that supplier or person. So we should able to consider to close properly. If at all you wanted to have some between gap, okay, so that thing also you should able to try to close. Okay, see this drainages or floor is appropriate sloping, you can able to see the slope is corner to this side, and there is a drain also. So any water spillage happens, automatically goes into that corner. You don't need to have extra manpower cleaning all those things. So you can able to suggest the manufacturer do with this kind of a flooring, because if you don't have a proper sloping, water will get stuck, dust will get stuck, everything will be there only. So at the same time, if you need to invest in one manpower in the area, one manpower averagely I can able to consider like 8,000 to 10,000 rupees is salary for that person. 1 year, how much is the cost for that person to maintain means almost 1,20,000 rupees per year. If you consider that cost for 5 years, approximately 6 lakhs of rupees you will be investing on one manpower to clean your water stagnation, dust stagnation, drainage cleaning, all this activity. If you design this properly, you can able to save that 6 lakhs rupees. Okay, so I'm not considering the salary hikes. Maybe you will be considering 10%, 20%. If we consider that, it goes up to 8 lakhs also. But you can able to save all this thing suggesting by a proper flooring. So these kind of flooring we don't suggest because there is a lot of gap, lot of stacking, dust can hold it. So we can able to go with a repair flooring like this. So we can able to see or this kind of. There is no mandate that you have to suggest these kind of flooring or epoxy floorings only. No, suggest any kind of material which is not having any kind of other requirements. Okay, so proper sloping if it is there, then we can able to consider. Okay, so see these drainages, so they have well folded drainages actually means, so they are not just keeping unnecessarily whatever the waste coming in and just going. So if you are just putting that, okay, if you are putting just that, all this information means like wastage, food wastage, all this material goes inside. If you don't have this screening mesh, everything will goes into this drain, and finally it get clogged somewhere. After about 2-3 months of time, then you have to hire a specific maintenance or drainage cleaning person every day. He has to do and just poke that thing. Then only you can start the work. Otherwise, it will get very very bad foul smells in the premises, and it goes into a lot of things. Okay. Then window screens. You can able to see this window screens, right? So the idea of objective is simple. We are understanding it. So no unnecessary insects or dust is coming inside the premises. So you'll have a control main. You have to control the entry. Okay, 1 second. So you have to any insects or anything. So that is what the purpose. So all these purpose, all the drainages, all these thing, floors, all these things is simple. No stagnation of contaminants or no entry of dust, no entry of other insects which are not. Okay. So windows and doors and all other opening areas outside the environment. So all these things proper to be screened. Okay. So I've said no. So that is not all very required. If any of the products which are required to consider, so in the primary and the food preparation areas, which are required to consider in the food preparation areas, cooking is happening or any kind of smoke is possibly coming from that and all you need to consider to understand. Okay, is gone, just ping me up. Okay, okay. So then, so these, if we have any kind of a smoke or heat processing, should have a chimney or any kind of exhaust system that you have to consider. Okay, so when you are designing this, you should be able to consider all these aspects. Hygiene you have to implement in that premises. Once I see this, you can able to consider good location is there or not, equipment hygiene, utensils hygiene, personal hygiene, water hygiene, procurement, storage, transportation hygiene, preparation, and no holding and serving waste disposal. All these problems and all you should able to completely close in that premises requirements. Okay, so these and all are required in the infrastructural thing. Go with this location and layout and facilities. Okay, so how you design a proper layout and facilities means you should able to understand what are the major steps in my food processing. So what are the major steps? My first step is purchasing, then receiving, then storing. I'll go for primary processing and finished product. Then I'll go with QA/QC testing, loading and packaging, and dispatch. So these are 9 major steps of mine. So I have to keep these steps in the layout so that I can able to consider all these things in a proper level. And if you want to more refine it, convert it into a flow chart. So where purchasing, receiving, and here they have mentioned storage. What they have mentioned here, they have mentioned storage of frozen items. So my storage should build cold rooms. I should build -18 freezers and dry goods. There are 3 categories I have given. They have given. Three categories they have given. One is -18 temperature, chilled and other things 0 to 5, and dry goods is room temperature. All these three storages you have to define there. Then goes into preparation. After that it goes into cooking, specifically hot holding, transport, cooling, cold storage also they have given. Okay, cold room, service, hot display, all this basic flow chart we can able to consider. Once this basic flow chart we can consider, we can able to understand what and all the machines we can able to understand. So if you wanted to go more defined way of this flow chart, I'll show you one example flow chart for a chili processing unit. Okay, I'll show you one chili processing unit thing, so that you can able to very clearly understand how this is. See, this is it's not chili or anything. All spices are almost like same. Okay, so this is specifically for chili grinding. Here my flow chart is, see, raw material receiving and a storage facility is required. So storage, single my product is only chili, one storage. Raw material feeding, there are stones wastage coming, so wastage also I have to consider. So these are the wastage, where can I can store or where can I can separate it actually. Here they have given a magnetic gauge of almost like 10,000 magnetic gauge have this specifically, and there is aspirator required. What is the size of this aspirator? Is this aspirator is small or big? Then from aspirator there are a lot of fine dust particles also coming, stones are coming, we will dispose this off. And see, electrostatic rollers and vibrators. What is the size of this electrostatic roller? What is this activity function? Stones, threads, plastic, jute fiber, they will take off. Magnet again 10,000 gauge. And pre-cutting, if at all anything, pre-cutting, pre-grinding, all this thing. Pre-blending, if you are going for mixed masala spices, so then blending is required. How much is the quantity requirement? Again, 1.2 metric tons is the quantity of this pre-blender. And grinding, Sifter 1, oversized material grading, if anything, this will go to pre-cutting again. It will, so then blender 1, blender 2, hot air pumping, lump breakers. So sifter 2, sieve size. They have specifically mentioning here sieve size 18 microns, and here 2.5 mm, 2.4 mm. Bar magnet and metal detector requirements. Finally, this is bulk pattern. So like this flowcharts, if you can consider, so all these flowchart requirements will be incorporated in the process flow. Other, if you're not incorporating that in the process flow, then that will leads to other issues, like you can't able to maintain all this safety sanitary conditions actually. Okay, like next step. So this is one example I would like to give. Okay, so this is one general classic example I am a lot of people used to refer. Okay, a lot of people used to refer wherever this space comes. So in this I will show you how general problems, what are the problems you will be generally facing. Okay, so I'm just taking a red color sketch here. Okay, so here step 1, this is my step 1. Okay, process step 1. So from here my raw material is coming into step 2, and from step 2 it is going into step 3. This is step 3, and we have one more step also. Okay, so I can consider raw material goes into this also. After this again it, or after that 5, 6, and where is my seventh step? Seventh step is like this. Then step 8, then I'm going to step 9. Where is 9? So here is 9. Then it goes to 10, 11, 12. So I'm going to 13. This is 13, and this is 14, 15, 16. I'm going, and 18 I'm coming back like this, and See, all these junctions, if we consider this junction, so this entire area is highly contaminated. This entire area is highly contaminated. See, our product can go spoil very fast in this area, actually, very fast. So then we will be under a lot of problems, okay, a lot of problems and risks. So if you see the other step, if you see this slide, so they have given, literally they have given the steps. Okay, so reception of raw material, you have to write this practical way of doing it. Reception of raw materials, selection and grading, washing, peeling, filling, pulp extraction, juice extraction, QC lab, and quality bottle washer, cooking, sealer, packaging and labeling, bottle room, or this process, how this process is just benefiting our process. Okay, so step 1, receiving of raw material. Step 2, and grading. 3, washing and disinfection, peeling, filling, and pulp extraction, and goes into juice extraction. So I am not going into 7, that is a laboratory. Okay, so they can able to take the sample and they can approve it. Okay, otherwise also line goes like this: 8, then cooking kettle, then autoclave, sealer, capper, bottle filling, and then goes. See this, my easy of understanding. Okay, so my easy of understanding is simple. Okay, like this. Is there any damage happening in this process line? Any cross contamination chances wherever the other process like this? So this is crossing. This is cross contamination. Okay, other lines are coming and cross contamination doing things. See, okay. So this is cross contamination area, high risk of cross contamination area. So auditor sees. So this is also cross contamination zone. This is cross contamination zone. This is cross contamination. Okay. So these and all. So this is, so all these lines and all getting cross contaminated. So we should avoid much of cross contamination. Okay. This process flow chart simple. So just go to this model. Okay. So this is grading and washing. So trimming and peeling, deshelling, size reduction, blanching, cooking, and syrup, TSS, total soluble solids percentage, and bricks percentage, or acidic acid percentage we are adding, are filling, and packaging and sealing this thing. And do not underestimate process flow chart. This is very key for HACCP documentation. So whenever you see HACCP documentation, you can't write like HACCP whatever your choice. Okay, so you should be able to understand how this HACCP is really helping my process or not. So might be you will be just having that session also, I believe. In that HACCP and all, it is very easy. Okay, so might be Subhash sir will be giving you a focus on how this HACCP will be implemented. For implementation of HACCP, this flow chart is very key essential document. Okay, so all this thing you have to make notes. See, this is one. I would like to give you an update on this how we have designed this requirement. So this is the gate, or this is the security entrance cabin. People comes or the metal comes here, and once we receive the process, so this is the entrance. The raw material will be stored, will be there, and I have a separate entrance to send the raw material out. Okay, and this is one entry, and this is one more entry for manpower. So manpower comes here. Okay, they wanted to use any kind of toilets, they will be using here, and they come into the change room, women changing room. They will come and change the requirements, and they go into admin department and put the attendance. They can go to first floor, or they can go to the potato chips manufacturing, or they wanted to go to cold storage, they wanted to go to raw material section, dispatch section, they whatever the area they wanted to go. Like this is separate entry for raw material, separate entry for manpower. So this is ideal, good actually. So once the process is entered actually, so this is also see, the raw material goes inside, and step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and final 9 storage, and this is dispatch. So this goes into dispatch and the product goes here. So here also in the internal area, I have not given any kind of cross contamination chances. My process is single direction, no backflow, no backflow at all. So this is how I have given. So if we go to the first floor again, see here, this is the first floor. So this is again. So here is the first requirement. So what we can able to the water grading, all this thing, cutting all this thing, so I can able to keep all the storage area racks here. So since I can't able to break a wall as per technically people are saying like a lot of vastu compliances requirements and all we have to face in India. So if you wanted to face that, then we can able to suggest in a very other alternative process. So this is the storage and this is the raw material entry and finishing. So internally I have made my processing is very clear and it is not going to hurt. So if you come here, okay, this is spice blending zone actually. So I will be bringing trolleys and I have a pulverizers, a sifter, floor millers, and everything goes into racks, packs, and this goes into packing actually. Okay, so packing, once the packing is done and there is a band sealer requirements, all this thing will be going into. So simple. And here, this is Papad and Mudku zone. The manpower comes into this room, and this is what the raw materials also they bring here. Raw materials comes through a lift actually. So this is the lift area actually. So then the dough kneading, keeping activities, and the movement of de-oiler rollers, trolleys, then papad murku oil frying, pressing and frying all these requirements, all this thing if anything. Okay, so then we have separate bhujia mixer, packing. This is packing machine, everything. We can able to put into this. Okay, so the steps also very clearly they have mentioned here. This is how you can able to practically orient your rooms and what are the dimensions, specifications, all this thing you can able to clear. Okay, so concluding the first chapter. Okay, so we should able to maintain a very good condition of facilities which should control the pest entries, all the other entries. Okay, so hole free exteriors. Okay, this is what you should not give any small hole also. Once you goes inside the premises and you lock yourself and close everything, there should not any kind of air or any kind of a holes, means like sunlight should not pass. That kind of a darkness you can able to maintain. Small holes I'm talking, not like ventilation. You can keep lot of ventilation, but water should not, one drop of water also should not come inside from the ceiling or the other walls. If water is coming inside, then obviously the entire situation is compromised. Okay, or this any kind of gaps on the corners or screen doors or air curtains, all this thing, anything possibility to control the foreign objects, all this thing has to be controlled in the proper level. Okay, next, equipments. When you are considering the equipments, it is very clear, FSSC also very clearly stated, any contamination coming the layout. Please, if you have any doubts clarifying, just please drop me a message or any kind of thing you can able to ask. Okay, sorry, we could not able to unmute because technically there are a lot of issues. Once you are all on mute, we don't know who and all doing what and other activities. So okay, right. If anything, you can just drop me into chat box. Any doubts for this topic? Any location layouts? Any specific doubts? Please. Right. Great. So we'll move on to the equipments. Simple, it's the same kind of fundamental things you have to use. Any cross contamination which is happening from equipments, those kind of equipments is not suggested. Your process equipments maybe preferably we will be going into a lot of equipments because where there are a lot of things that are happening or automation level. You know why automation is suggested? It less hand contaminations. Okay, the more number of people, the more of hands going inside the premises. So majorly the contamination starts. Okay, so equipments and containers, you have to identify specifically identifiable all these equipments is for what kind of purpose. Is this equipment is for the purpose of waste cleaning, or it's only for byproducts, or if it is only for, say example I'll tell you. So this kind of a line is there. So now this line is specifically dropping all this one item actually. So I don't want to same kind of filling line also I can able to use it for some other lines also. So now my understanding, like, can I use these same lines but not for food production? If I wanted to pack some oil because machines are ideal, and I wanted to use this because my company is going in loss, so I can't use it actually. So this tray where I'm just doing for egg processing, I can't use this for grains, I can't use this for any other processing. So these machines I'm using for cooking of vegetarian items only, and I'm using for non-vegetarian items or any allergen items I'm using. So it is a problem. So like that, one material waste productions, or not the same kettle I wanted to use it for caustic soda cooking actually, because really few companies do follow caustic soda, because there a lot of killing happens in dairy industries and all some other industries. So they boil hot water and they put caustic in it, and they make caustic soda. So then they dip the bucket systems or tubs or any plates they wanted to put, they put actually. So if I'm using this tub for cooking of food, at the same time every week, alternative week, I'm using it for caustic soda cooking. So I have a lot of risk chances for contamination actually. So I can't use suitably constructed, and these are all things to be stored in a separate level. All food contacting items, all this must be in a good condition. There is no kind of chipping, no kind of cuts, no kind of breakages. Or if anything goes off, it will be problem. So preferably manufacturer level or FSSAI is also suggesting to go with stainless steel. It is not a mandatory requirement that sir has said, sir, FSSAI is suggesting stainless steel. It is only suggesting, it is not mandating to go with stainless steel. If I'm mandating to go with stainless steel, cost is a factor which we cannot able to afford to go. So stainless steel, aluminum or glass, whichever is suitable, we can able to use. And if at all the process demands brass or copper utensils, proper lining means coating, kalai, what we call it as. Okay, so if you are going for brass or copper, you should definitely get coating. Okay, so specifically corrosion free we wanted to want, and it should be in good repairable condition. So we should not use it for any other purpose, or should be properly covered or gaze into a proper requirements. If that is happening, then we can able to consider it is in good shape. Okay, yes, you should able to do a proper setup for CIP, cleaning in place. Okay, clean in place, if you have to do for all the equipments you have bought it, but you don't know how to do the cleaning requirements. You don't know that machine is not suitably cannot wash. There are a lot of parts. If at all you want to dismantle, it is a big headache. So if at all you wanted to install, that is also a process again. So generally you don't clean it all those machines, just you water wash it and all goes it. So like that you will be avoiding it. For all the equipments, there should be a proper cleaning schedule to be followed. That cleaning schedule is necessary. So cleaning equipment, see this equipments how it is easy for them to handle, or in a proper level. So some kind of sanitation tools, say example your machine parts which are regularly to be cleaned properly. So some kind of knives, chopping boards, tables which are need to be sanitized as a part of cleaning place. Cleaning and sanitation like that. So such kind of things we have to maintain a proper adequate facilities. Okay, so it is very requirement that you should able to have water cleaning disposable system or effluent cleaning disposable systems also should be kept available. Okay, so then we understood that till now we are designing the layout. So till now what we have done, we have understood what are the requirements and all how. So we are designing of what to go inside and what and all. Now we are in a requirement that we should able to give what provisions required in the entire empty space. What provisions? So we wanted to put toilets, we wanted to put fresh air, exhaust system, or what kind of systems we wanted to put, that we are discussing now. Okay. Let us go with the facilities number one. First facility in your food premises should have a proper water facilities. As I told, without water, we can't do anything. Any industries are not using water. In food industries, generally, you have any industry which are not using water, which has no requirement of water usage. People thinking like, mine is dairy industry, water is required, and sauce or pickling industry it is required, and one except the grain processing units. They said like, no, we don't want any water. If water is there, our product will get contaminated. So I don't want water actually. But it is to clean your hands of your person who's coming, toilet facilities to maintain, and as well as floor cleaning activities. Some of the machines has to be neatly cleaned, or vehicle has to be washed, or there are requirements for water for everywhere. So you have to follow water. Okay. So without water is there, so you can't able to select the premises at all. So there are two categories in water: potable and non-potable. Potable means drinkable water. So you should able to understand. So if at all you are using water, these water are drinkable or not? So drinkable means lot of people say, sir, drinking water there are a lot of types. So if at all I ask you means what kind of how many water types means, you will be saying, sir, I only drink mineral water, sir. I don't drink any other water, sir. Sir, in my household, bore water is coming, sir. Can I drink that, sir? I am drinking. So bore water, RO water, alkaline water, mineral water, or a municipality supplied water. There are a lot of waters. But I am not quoting those words. I'm quoting only a single word called as potable. Potable, not portable. It's portable. Portable water. So these portable waters, if you can able to consider, these portable water, if you can able to consider, one second. One moment. I'm just unmuting for one reason. This is water which is suitable for or mineral, anything also which is suitable for drinking can be referred as potable water. Even that municipal water also, it also can be potable water. If that water conforms to standards, okay, if the water is conformed to standards, IS 10500, Indian standard 0. If that is matching, then we can able to consider it is okay. Okay, that's it. Then cleaning of your utensils and equipments, as I said, like water is compulsory required. You should give some provision. You should give some provision to cleaning of utensils, cleaning of your utensils and equipments. Where and all we have to clean this. So, or else it is automatic cleaning. Washing of raw materials, is the washing of raw materials is required or not? Where and all the drinks and drainages has to be kept. All these things we have to keep it in consideration. Okay, and you have to excuse me. I'm getting another call.
Sir, are you there?
My voice is audible or not? Anybody?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Yes, thank you. So I'm going with my presentation. So for cleaning of your equipments and tools, all these utensils, requirements and equipments. So we should have a provisions requirements for washing of your raw materials or might be fruit pulps or any grains, anything, soaking all this thing which required. So we should have a provisions. And personal facilities like personal hygiene, hand washing facilities like so your proper requirements, you should have a proper sink with proper minimum structure like this. So here you can able to see So what and all the areas we are giving? We are giving cold water as well as hot water provision, so that a proper mixture and then fertilizer and clearly water put. So these and all some requirements we need to clearly put wherever it is happening to hand washing facilities. These are the minimum things what you need to consider in this area actually. And a separate adequate number of hygienes laboratories also should be male numbers. You should have a separate hand washing facilities as well as laboratory facilities, toilets also we should have actually changing facilities and some other anything any other requirements you wanted to put anything. Okay, so some other basic requirements like how to do hand washing and what are the good practices, bad practices, GMP tables, all this thing also should be displayable. So this is one way of identifying water activities or demarcation and what is the water going line this way or domestic cold water going this fire hydration water like that. If you are identifying all these things, it is very good actually, so that we can able to understand. And tanks cleaning and sumps cleaning also you should do properly. You should have that facilities also. As I said, this you've already seen it. These are the facilities and this. So ideal requirement is every 15 persons we should have one hand washing tap. If your team size is like 40 people you are there, you should have two hand washing sinks specifically. And lavatories are for men and women, it is different. So if you're having around 20 staff people and one lavatories and urinals is two and wash basins is two. And in case of women, two lavatories and two hand washing basins are required. Like this, if you are having large scale number, the number depends and as change. Okay, but you should have a separate hand is required hand washing facilities to individually. Means like raw material section will be coming and washing hand washing in the production area. It is not allowed because they are bringing a lot of contamination. So every area, if you can conveniently put some hand washing stations, it is ideally processed. Or if you have open area, everything is open shed, so that is also required. So men's locker room and these men locker rooms always have a possible challenge. So male and female locker rooms. So people don't follow this change of practices. They just come with the same kind of clothes from the outside level. Then it is issue. Okay. So female locker rooms, all this thing, any refreshments, any other facilities you wanted to put, you can put. And see this is some illustrative requirements also we have given, like how you put your ventilation or as well as exhaust systems or fresh air circulation, air ventilation, air requirements. So if you are using any kind of a havoc system, means like exhaust systems, so there are possible requirements that you need to adapt it to changes. Number of changes is required. How many number of air cycles you have to maintain, all this thing. Any production requirements, any kitchen, anywhere, high amounts of smoke and other possible options are coming and absorb that entire kind of a smoke other thing. So all this ducting things will happen actually. So then transfer of air, all these requirements should come like this. So this is high air cycles requirements actually. High air cycle requirements, if we consider kitchen is high air supply, so this can possibly go into this area. Okay, low air pressure or high air pressures, like this we can able to consider. But always this is wrong actually, because low areas like restroom exhaust systems and all, you should not get into this kitchen supply, because positive and negative air pressures are possibly differentiate the quality. And lighting requirements, you should have a proper lighting. There are lux fixations, I'll tell you that lux requirements also. And preferably all light should be covered actually. So preferably these are general standard guidelines in industries, where preferably industries are asking, if it is a food storage area, you should maintain 220 lux units. So lux candles, and inspection area 540, because you need to have your focused inspection requirements, like eye has to catch a lot of dust and other things also. If you are just checking all this in a dark room, you can't able to identify what is insect, what is stone. So general areas 220, preparation area surface processing preparation. General areas like dishwashing, all hand washing stations, and 100. For any other monitoring of equipments, inspections, all this thing, usually we ask you to take a torchlight, small torchlight, so that they can able to just go and see. Okay, so that is somewhere around 600 to 100 lakhs you will be getting. Okay, and additional requirements of FSSA also says like food safety display boards. So these food safety display boards are essential to give information that what are all the practices what we are following. So if you are just considering these are colors. Storage, they have a different color, yellow color, and manufacturing, they have general manufacturing colors, this green color, blue color. So this has to be displayed as per FSSA requirements. All food safety display has to be displayed, and they should able to have this license number also mentioned here. And they have this toll free FSSA complaint numbers, and company contact details also they should able to give, so that they are promising that these 12 basic golden rules shall be always adopted in their premises. That is. And cleaning and maintenance, yes, sanitation and maintenance we will be able to consider. So the basic understanding of cleaning and maintenance you should able to understand actually. What is cleaning? Cleaning means cleaning. Okay, you will be saying cleaning means cleaning. Sanitation. So there is a lot of differentiation in cleaning and sanitation actually. Cleaning and maintenance are both the same actually. They are different. So you can able to consider that cleaning means visible dust removal, and reducing the risk to an acceptable level. So you are bringing down the risk to an acceptable level. You are bringing it actually. So that requirement. So then we will be followed with other requirements also. So other requirements, to maintain all these activities, so we need to have a proper schedules of how we can able to do that. Okay, so cleaning is visible removal of visible dust and food debris, and reducing the bacterial load to an acceptable level. I can able to say reducing of contaminants to an acceptable level. So you can cleaning also generally do follow some practices. It doesn't mean like in removal no bacteria will be removed means bacteria will be removed to acceptable level, not to the highest level. And when sanitation is referred, sanitation you can able to consider reduction of contaminants load to a maximum level 99.9. Even if you see a Lifebuoy ad, kills 99.9% of germs. They don't promise like 100%, because there are certain somewhere like sports and all they will be just having that and all you can able to consider. Okay, so this is remove grease, organic matter, anything. So all this thing, all your effect. Okay, effective cleanliness should be, must be, comes through only sanitation actually. So sanitation of areas, all this thing, all this detergents and chemicals, whatever you use, they can reduce the load of bacteria or contaminants. Okay, so sanitation means complete removal. So for sanitizations, you can able to go with approved sanitizations tools, which are by recommended, basic on your process. So in industries like nitric, dairy industries, they go with nitric as well as caustic as well as 1%, 0.5% to or 0.3%, or specifically hot water. Hot water is also considered like best sanitizer if you're using, if hot water is more than 77 degrees and higher actually. So then if you can able to consider like chlorine, some kind of a bleaching agents are all there. So in the IDO4 they will be using in few dairies. So like that we can able to consider lot of tools are available, lot of sanitizers are available, but whichever best goes into fit into your process, that you have to consider. Okay, so these are types of sanitizers: chlorine based and quaternary ammonium based sanitizers actually. So these are sanitizers we can able to safe usage level. These are all safe usage. 100 to 200 ppm of chlorine is okay. That's not a problem. Okay, so if at all any debris, any residual chemicals are available, if it is anything visible, so you can pour again into lot of water and rinse it. Actually, if you don't rinse, these chemicals will be coming through in contact with food and your stomach also. So usually that is the process. If you have to using any process sanitation, you have to rinse it properly. You have to use lot of water to avoid that kind of risk. If this chlorine is usually goes off evaporation, it will settle down after a certain time. Actually, it will goes off evaporation. That time may takes approximately 1 to 2 days if it generally goes off. If it, that material has to be, if you say example tomatoes you wanted to use, so you are washed with chlorine and immediately you have to use with running rinsing with water. If you don't do that, then again this water will not remove the chlorine residues and that will goes into your stomach. So if done like this, these tomatoes for day after tomorrow or tomorrow section, keep it in the cold room, that residual chlorine will weigh off actually. Okay, so 100 to 200 ppm is very safer, and this is the contact time is specifically you can consider 30 seconds is the contact time. If you go with QMBA, there is a reaction time is very high, so you can able to keep the contact for. So these and all basic sanitizers whenever you are doing. So anything, some sanitizers and all releases chlorine dioxide gases or some other strong gases which you need to follow. Basic gloves of masks and the basic hygiene requirements or safety tools you have to follow. Okay, sanitation solutions. If at all you are making sanitation solutions, you pour like 10 ml into 1 liter and you keep it for 2 days and you're using the same thing. No, the potency of the sanitizers will go off time to time. So whenever you need the sanitizer, prepare it in according to your requirement, immediate note or any kind of purposes you are maintaining. Based on that only you can able to maintain. Okay. So this is one specific tool image explaining the process: washing, rinsing, sanitization. So this is called three sink system actually: wash, rinse, sanitize. Okay. Example C, there are in this process you can able to use some chlorine water. This chlorine water gives you an ideal requirement how you can able to wash your vegetables or any other leafies or any kind of reduction of bacterial load. In this chlorine tablets, the contact time if you can able to keep it for 30 seconds, it will goes off. So next we are going into chapter called cleaning and sanitation conclusions. Before we are just jumping into maintenance, we just understand this. Effective cleanliness is required to understand a proper schedule. Actually, if you don't have a proper schedule, so we will be not able to do what kind of area when we have to do all this thing. It's a problem actually. Okay, so frequency procedure. See this. This is the ideal way. It is not a mandate that you have to put your cleaning schedules in only in PDF, English, Hindi. No, it is not required. So you can able to put your whatever your regional languages. You want to put it in Kannada, you can put Tamil. You want to put it. It is the concept is to understand when we need to do. So this requirement structures. Example structures like flooring, floors, walls, and all. So what is the frequency? Each day, end of the day, as frequently as required. Or okay. Then what and all the tools is required? Brooms, damp mop, brush, detergents, and sanitizer. These are tools required. Methods. You have to define this process. If you don't define this process, it is very difficult to understand. See, my way of understanding of cleaning is different because I'm just when you consider my wife doing of things, she is not much of so she does whatever the more she likes actually. If you consider my maid, housemaid who is coming for just regular houseworks, she do the same area in 5 minutes, whereas it takes 30 minutes to me, 15 minutes to my wife, 5 minutes to the maid, because we don't standardly define the process how we have to do it. So you can't take such a risk in the manufacturing industries that okay it is okay it is okay. No, it is not okay. If cleaning is not effective, then it is a problem. Okay. Sweep the area, apply detergent and mop the area, scrub for extra soil, rinse thoroughly with water, remove water with mop. These are the basic requirements what you need to follow. Okay, the basic requirements what you need to follow, the same methodology. And who is the responsible person to clean the floors? This person. Either it is the supervisor, or it is the manager, it is the general manager, it is the director, or you quality control, whoever it is might be responsible. You have to put that name here. Okay, walls, basic requirements. And these are the structures. These are food contacting surfaces are very different, right? So work tables and sinks after every use they're saying, not like monthly, end of the day, weekly. So they're saying after every use. Wiping cloth, detergent, and sanitizers. So rinse with water, apply detergent and wash. Again, apply sanitizer, air dry. So applying sanitizer is what you can able to see, because if you are here, 60 to 70% of reduction of load is okay, because this is not food contacting surfaces. This is food contacting surfaces. You don't want to take any risk, so you wanted to clean 100%. So 99.9% of germs you have to remove it actually. Okay, so this and all illustrative images like how you can able to consider the cleaning chemicals. So you have to consider cleaning chemicals with appropriate labeling requirements. Okay. So how to use? If you don't know how to use this chemical, because because the other person who is not educated, even if you go to rural villages, nobody have a proper education. If they can able to educate means they just they write the name. They don't know how to read it also. So basically, this all the chemical handling things you should give an appropriate person. See this, these are all chemical tools. They have appropriately stored in a proper level. Like that, you have to give a proper instructions how to use it and what are the requirements. So dilution chart and how much is the amount of requirement, how much is the ppm storage level, all these things will be very clearly mentioned. Okay. Last, we will go to the drainage and waste disposal. It is very much required that you should not removing waste from your food preparation. All this will be. See, if you see this, they are very clearly they have given. So wet and dry garbages they have given very clearly. So like that, there is no color coding specifically. If you have a color coding in your local government is saying that, you have to follow that. So this is, say example, this is biodegradable wet. Okay, wet garbage green, and dry garbage I'm just keeping it in red, and wet garbage biodegradable. So specifically I'm also keeping here. So there is no standard requirement here. If you have green, blue color codings, you can follow. You can follow. And if at all you wanted to go with more advanced level of recycling, compost, or landfill, anything, you can also go with that. But sincerely, I'll suggest you a proper disposal of waste, and drainages should be properly clean, and stagnation should not be there. So it depends upon the area wise requirements and manufacturing industry requirements. You need to maybe put STP plants or ATP plants or anything, which specifically you can able to put. Okay. So then we will be jumping into last chapter, maintenance. Okay. Any doubts you have in the facility requirements? Any facility requirements doubts? So Preeti has asked a doubt. What is the water TDS? Preeti never consider like industry quality means only TDS. TDS is only one parameter you can able to consider. So I will show you one guideline document saying that Hmm. See, this is the Indian standards for specifications for drinking water. This is 10500. Indian standards 10500 means this standard is for drinking water, actually means potable water. So in this pH or TDS, whatever the requirement TDS, what you can able to consider, resolvable solids you can able to consider, there is no specification actually. Okay, you can able to consider hardness, okay, or extended to up to 600 because if there is no water activity, and at the same level, so we can able to check the other requirements like here calcium carbide levels, as well as some other we can able to consider. But TDS depends on the number of minerals it is coming, the bore water it is coming. So industrial level, if you are using high-end machines, the water hardness less than 300 is what is preferred. For your drinking water, 100, okay, 100 up to 100, 150 is okay. If you are go with mineral water bottles, that will be less than 50 also. So that is not okay because we will be needing a lot of minerals. So like that, it is not only parameters. Here, color, turbidity, pH. There are specific almost 28 activities what they have given. All these 28 activities, if they comply, then the potency, total hardness in calcium carbonate. Okay, so this is what. So these and all required. This is not only one parameter that I will be checking, sir. Hardness I'll check and I'll decide whether it is good water, bad water. If that water contain lot of chemical residues, then that water is not fit for at all. If the pH of the water is approximately 6, then it is not considerably good water at all. So like that, you need to understand. So it's not only hardness you have to consider the entire other requirements also in order to understand what is good or not good. Okay. Okay. Next. So there are basically two types of maintenance what we can able to consider. These kind of two types of maintenance what we consider like preventive and corrective. So you all know like what is preventive maintenance. Preventive means before, corrective means after. You can able to consider like two things: pre-mortem and post-mortem. Pre-mortem means you are going to a doctor saying that, sir, I'm just coming for a general checkup. General checkup means I don't have any problem, but I'm coming for checkup. If any deviations or small deviations is happening, so I wanted to complete because I feel like my life is very, very important. So corrective maintenance means once the problem comes, you are feeling so much of pain, stomach ache, all this thing, you can't able to walk or you can't able to breathe anything, then you go to doctor and say that give me treatment. So that time you need to pay whatever the amount asked by doctor, like that. So but industrial requirement is also it is has to happen. So simple understanding, preventive maintenance is before a failure has to occur. Before a failure means corrective means after a failure means the production loss. There is a lot of loss in corrective maintenance actually. Breakdown maintenance or corrective maintenance means the loss which happens, the salaries has to be paid actually, that is a lot of problem. So before the problem happens, that maintenance thing if you are doing, general maintenance, like you might be nuts and bolts fitting or greasing, applying, sounds coming, noises coming, or machine parts are grinding individually. So all these basic things and all you can able to consider. So if you are considering that, then it is very easy. So you can able to understand that whatever the problems which are going to be happen in future, so we can able to cover it. If you don't follow that practice, then automatically suddenly one day it happens with a huge loss or damage to the machine. Maybe the material gets spoiled or the machine itself gets broken, then you need to replace with lot of other things. Okay. So this lubrication, maybe you will be considering maintenance things, lubrication or heat transfer fluids, or compatible or not, releasing maintenance problems, or any other person requirements and all you need to consider. So all the activities, any specific activity related to machines, which to be maintained in a very good condition, all the risks, all the requirements you have to take into consideration actually. Okay. What generally it is suggested, I have given a list of equipment, these and all the number of quantities, preventive maintenance weekly, all these has to be checked because these are I'm using on a daily basis actually. Okay, so a heavy load of problems fortnight. So if I'm using these as in fortnight, once in 15 days I'm just checking, so this is okay because there will be no kind of much issues in it. Monthly, see few things which are not necessary. Weighing scale, no need to do every day. So they are given it as monthly. Once you check any loose wires, nut bolts, everything. So general preventive maintenance, see tightening of screws, nuts, bolts, patchworks, wiring, work painting, etc. Every Saturday of every month. Okay, first Saturday I'm just considering for maintenance. So like that, if anything, yearly maintenance you want to put for go for calibration requirements on a yearly, so those and all also it is very much required. So that you can able to consider. So when to do it. So these basic list, if you can able to consider, we are making to ensure that less failure chances. Is HACCP is also same. It's about how you control the failures, how you control the failures and produce a safer food. So that is what we are understanding here also. We are ensuring that we are supporting the FS, HACCP that to produce. There are a lot of this machine is old, so you can replace it. So like that, you have to understand like there are five aspects. So you need to give dispose that machine. Okay, so regular wear and tear, because if it is much old like 10 years 15 years, the manufacturer only given us 10 years is the shelf life of the machine. Normal wear and tear it gone, so we can able to replace that machine. And if the machine is giving repeated problems every time, if you repair it, like again it will problems, or no spares are available, nothing, it is can't be, which is beyond repairable actually, then you can able to replace the machines. So then if it is the machine is not providing at all your desired output, okay, say example, um, machines has to give output, like machine capacities will be considered like output requirements. 1 ton per day or 1 ton per hour is the requirement, but that machine is only giving output means like 500 kgs per hour. So all of 500 kgs, that is 50% of your output, then you can able to obviously consider this is also a problem. So their output is going because somewhere it is problem, so we can able to replace it. Non availability of spare or any other machine lubricants, it is leaking and it is making product contamination, then it can be able to remove this machine. And if it is machine is internally grinding and it is giving a lot of noise and internal metal parts are coming out from the machines or all this thing, that is also, it is not a good sign, then you can able to consider that requirements also. So all these aspects you can able to consider when to replace your machine tools and all, it is understandable actually. So maintenance is simple, ensuring that work, ensuring the machine to give a productive standard productivity of the product, means like say example, so you have to ensure that productivity of the machine should not drop to a specific requirements. For example, 10% of the productive loss you can able to consider. 1 ton it is producing, so you can able to consider 900 kgs it is producing, it is okay. So you have to ensure that machines proper works to be done, proper supporting activities to be done to ensure that higher productivities, that is called general maintenance. There are a lot of types of maintenance, but we can able to consider maintenance, corrective maintenance. Preventive means before the problem happens, you will be running around all these areas for spares and other requirements. Okay, so topics, if you have any questions related to any of the topic which is covered today within the session, you can able to ask.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, one question is there. Any
Please.
specific guidelines for deciding which components would be allocated weekly, fortnightly, or monthly maintenance, and vice versa?
Yeah, there is no specific guidelines, but if you are using those machines on a daily basis, that is almost like majority of your productivity is dependent, so that has to be checked on a daily basis. Say example, if what is a kettle, cooking kettle is you're using, okay, so that cooking kettle, without that never production never goes. So for that has to basic requirements like any leakages happening or any kind of sounds are coming or any kind of nut bolts are loose. This has to be checked on a daily basis. So less used or not majorly impacting the safety requirements, so that you can able to skip to 15 days, means like storage facilities or any kind of pipelines. There is no major leakage. Generally, it happens. Storage facilities.
Participants, if you have any question, you can write in the chat box or raise your hand. I will unmute you to ask the question. Sir is here to clarify your doubt.
So like conveyor belts, all these things can go into fortnightly because less problem. It's all you can able to do tracing. We can able to do a tracing requirement saying that any previous history it is there. Any previous history, if it is this machine is always already having any problem in the previous past days, what are the frequency, based on that we can able to decide which can go into that. Okay. So yearly calibration, generally thermometers, all this thing, a monthly. So once in 6 months and all, you can able to fit into. Depends, you can able to categorize, but no specific guidelines. Anything?
So yes, one question more. Is there any specific standard rules for specific food industry, for example, cereals, oilseed, food and vegetable industries?
Yes, this question to be more refined actually. Specific standard rules is about the product quality specifications or machines or spares or infrastructure requirements. Specific standard rules for what? Food industry rules means is it for any other requirement?
Dr. Udi Chavan, can you elaborate your question, please? Product specific, sir.
You will have standards. I will show you.
Sir, can you raise your hand? I will unmute you. You can clarify your doubt.
See, I'm just checking you here. I'm going to FSSAI. So this is one website where you can able to get all your product clarity standards, anything. So if you're just going here, regulations, if you just go, so here you can able to see product standards and product standards of additives, what and all it has to go. Always refer to the compendium. If you go to the compendium, there are guidelines given by FSSAI. So in these guidelines, you can able to see all your dairy products, fats, oils, emulsions, any product specifically if you wanted to treat. So all this will be available here. Say example, if I wanted to go with cereal and cereal products. Okay, so just so yeah, I went to the cereal products. Seen this, there are specifications they have given for atta. So atta means what is the atta? So exclusively by milling, by grinding of clean wheat, we shall be free from abnormal flavors, odors, living insects, filth, and what is definition of resultant atta? So the moisture percentage, total ash percentage, ash insoluble ash. Like this, you will have product specifications for all of the products. Show you one more right. Rice, or if you wanted to add some fortified rice kernels, anything also it is there. So you can able to go with basmati rice or this. So I'll be going with some other products. You can able to see products containing oats or oat products, rolled oats, specifications like this. You can able to see. So what and all the preservatives can be used in that also. They are given list. What and all the GMP requirements they can be given. So this they can able to use. Like this, you can able to use any of these specific requirements, and you can get your product standards. Yeah, hope I have clarified your doubt actually. Okay.
Yes, sir. So one
Yes.
more question. Can you show some sample plant audit report?
See, audit report is very detailed about process. So audit planning will be given depends upon how you do audit actually. Okay, audit plan I'll show you, but since 1 second. Audit plan you can able to do is like what and all things you need to verify. If you are going as an external ISO auditing plan, that is different. If you are going for any hygiene rating auditing plan, it is different. Or if you are going general inspection plan, it is different. So some components and all what and all it is nothing. What and all you are doing on the first day and what and all you are doing on second day, what documents you are verifying, like that I can able to show you one sample document. Don't consider like this is the way of all everything. Okay, so it is only for just for your understanding. I'm just keeping. See, this is one kind of a audit plan would generally for retried campus or anything. So what we have given any reference number, company name which you are going for auditing, inspection criteria, hygiene rating auditing schedule, or retried audit schedule, or what are the standard I'm just referring at as FSSA Schedule 4 requirements Part 2 and Part 5, and what is the scope of activities means food service establishment or canteen, auditing team. So that and open meeting who will be doing and review of legal documents and other legal requirements, and from here site visit design, how is the design facilities, control of operations, eat at campus on the lunch break, site visit, stores, personal hygiene, training records and other things, and closing meeting for the day, anything discussions on the about non-conformances. And next day we are starting with safe and healthy food checklist verification and sustainable consumer, like this we can able to review and what and all. Then closing days and what is this. So these and all how you can able to consider whether it is going to be a proper audit or not. Okay, so how that you can able to plan depends upon your process and product. Okay, yeah, any other doubts? So components to be listed in audit report is like your team introduction as well as your process verification, what are the areas you are going to cover and what is your time keeping for that specific department, so that they can able to plan the production in that specific department accordingly.
Thank you so much, sir. I think you
Yeah.
clarify all the doubts of the participants with such a detailed presentation.